Hey guys, welcome back, or actually, welcome to the first time I get to make my own content for you guys specifically. Different than Andrew's content, different than us together. This is where I get to talk to you about whatever I feel like's on my heart, or whatever you guys ask for, which feel free in the comments on Twitter, on Instagram, which will be linked in the description. If you have any suggestions for what you'd like to hear me talk about specifically in my sort of perspective and lens, feel free, shoot a message, and I'd love to look into it. But I'm going to go ahead and take you guys on a journey about what I'm learning through my hunt and chase towards self-growth and self-improvement. And what that looks like right now is my mentor recommended that I read this book that's right in front of me that I'll tell you about in a sec. But this book you also find on a lot of successful people's bookshelves. It's a very well-known, very successful, and a very true book that talks to you about how to improve yourself and be better. And it's called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So a really good book. I have no association with these people. Stephen Covey wrote it, and it's a really fruitful book where you get to learn about, okay, let's see how I can be a better, more effective person in my work, in my house, in my family, all those different things. So it's a really good book. I would highly recommend it. And I would highly recommend it. And I haven't even made it that far. I'm like barely into this book and I'm loving it. But I get to talk to you about what I'm learning from it so far. I've made it through the foreword, and I believe this is the preface. So I've made it just about, I'd say, the beginning of the book in. I'm just about to start the actual 7 habits section. But even in this section, it's so good. And if I could communicate to you how powerful this is in this short video, that would be a success to me. But I want you to know, I'm not trying to talk to you. This book is speaking directly to me. I'm not reading this to teach you necessarily, but that's a benefit. I'm reading this to learn for myself. So with that, I hope you know that I'm just trying to encourage you and push you forward, that whatever this book teaches, that I have some sort of hope and assumption that it is positive, that is good for you to hear, which is why I'm communicating it to you. So without further ado, we can hop into this book, and I'll be talking about kind of how we see problems and maybe why that's wrong or how we can do it better. And so to know about the book, you first have to know who it's to, which currently who I'm communicating it to is my generation. Whether you are or you're not, we live in a world where it's the instant mashed potato world, where you have your problems, this mashed potato mix you get in this little bag from the grocery store, you pour it into a bowl, then you got your solutions, this boiling hot water, you pour it on top, mix, 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 a couple weeks of putting those solutions into practice, boom. In 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you got a nice steamy bowl of mashed potatoes you can put next to your microwave steak. I don't know, that kind of just, microwave steak, it's so good on the grill. But anyways, you put that in a bowl, and you have it that easy in 10 minutes. That's the generation I live in. But it's interesting because this book talks specifically about how that mindset, that mentality, all these self-help books, all that sort of stuff only happened the last 50 years. Before that, before the last 50 years, it was about 200, 250 years, 300 years of going deeper. That it wasn't just this surface level thing that took 5 minutes. It was, okay, spend a lifetime trying to uncover issues you have in yourself and grow. And so the thing that I'm going to talk to you about is, it's called ethics in this book, whether it's personality over here or character over here. Personality ethics is what applies to our generation. Personality ethics is that surface level band-aid. It's that thing you slap on top that other people will see on the outward, that it's healing, it's going better. But is it actually? Is it actually going better? So the book describes it right here as the personality ethic essentially took 2 paths. One was human and public relation techniques, and the other was a positive mental attitude. These are things that outwardly show. I'm going to have a happy mind about this. Man, it's hard at home right now, but I'm going to go out and I'm going to be positive and I'm going to be a light. I'm going to have such a smile on my face. But inside, are you actually happy? Or is it just a band-aid slapped across your face? Personality ethics are this surface level thing that society has been teaching us is the right way to handle things. But if you look at the statistics, there's a lot of mental health issues nowadays. A lot of people with depression and anxiety. Now, maybe they're correlated, maybe they're not, but you gotta think. This sort of mindset was developed in the last 50 years. My generation's dealing with all these mental health issues the most. Yes, maybe it's technology discovering it as well, but I'd like to really focus on this thought. These surface level self-help techniques are causing a lot more pain than you realize as you bury down and you hide it deep inside. And so I would just challenge you, as I talk about the next form, character ethics, you take a sec and you think, okay, maybe he's onto something, and I'm not onto it, the book's onto it, Covey's onto it. I'm just telling you what I've read. Character ethics. When you have the instant mashed potatoes, it's good, it's nice, it's a quick little handy thing. But now I want you to think about a delicious plate of Thanksgiving mashed potatoes, where you go to the grocery store, you buy some fresh, pulled out the ground potatoes, and you throw them in a bath, you wash them on up, then you throw them in a boiling pot that you spent a few minutes boiling up, then you prepare the ridiculous amounts of butter, the seasoning, the chives, whatever you put in it. You mix it all together, you mash up the potatoes, and then what my family does, I don't know if this is normal, but then we throw it in the oven for like an hour and a half. That melts in your mouth, and guess what? That makes an impact. I look forward to Thanksgiving because of that dish for a reason. I don't necessarily look forward to my instant mashed potatoes. I know they're there, I know they'll be good in the moment, but I'm not looking forward to those, and those don't give me any reward. If I spend all the effort making these delicious mashed potatoes, I'm reaping a reward when I take that first bite. And so I know mashed potatoes is a weird talk, but now to character ethics. Character ethics are things like integrity, humility, fidelity, temperance, courage, justice, patience, industry, simplicity, modesty, and the golden rule, which is treat others the way you want to be treated. This is character ethics. It's not slapping a Band-Aid on. It's how is your integrity? How humble are you? When people talk to you, and this may be personality, are they walking away like, man, that guy's egotistical. He thinks he's the smartest person in the room. He's a jerk. These things could be personality traits, but also could they be deeper? Character ethics are those deep things. Let's not just put a Band-Aid on the wound. Let's put some Neosporin in it, make sure it's healing correctly. And to think about character ethics, to think deeper than just your personality ethics, what you're dealing with on the surface level, the book talks about paradigms and having a paradigm shift. Paradigms is kind of like your perspective. You have what you were raised on and what you see life through, your lens. And paradigm shift is when you go, okay, I understand where I came from. I understand what got me to right here, right now. But maybe I can understand what this book's talking about. This book spends a decent chunk of it just prefacing what it's about to talk about because it really wants you to understand. You got to take a step back. You got to shift your paradigm so you can understand where the author's coming from and their perspective and their point of view. This book, as we walk through it in the next month, 2 months, however long it takes me to read it and communicate it in a decent fashion to you guys, this book has some incredible gold. It's on a lot of successful people's bookshelves because it's a very useful, wise book. The author spent many years studying character ethics so that they could formulate it into the 7 habits of highly effective people. The author didn't invent these habits. They just formulated it into a group, into pages, so that you and I could read it. So not only do I want you to hear what I'm saying, but I also want you to pick up this book and read it yourself. Read it along with me even. But read this book and start to understand, okay, maybe I should stop putting Band-Aids on. Maybe I should actually think about how I could get better. How I don't need to struggle anymore because there's a way to dig deeper. It's not easy. It's not easy to look inside and say, oh gosh, I actually have these character issues. It's not easy. The important thing to know though is you don't just slap a Band-Aid on those. You target those and you grow and you change, because you can change. You can be healthier and happier. You don't have to just live with it. And that's, I think, an important part of even just this forward and this preface. It's literally just talking to you about, hey, you don't have to just focus on personality ethics. You don't have to have the instant mashed potatoes when there's this delicious steaming platter of gourmet Thanksgiving mashed potatoes. And so that's what I want to leave you with. It's not too in-depth. It's just some basics about the book, because that's all the book talks about in the beginning for the most part. And so what I would ask you is think about that. Think about where in your heart, in your life, do you have these cuts that you've been slapping a Band-Aid on, that you've been posting on Instagram, hey guys, doing great, went to the lake today, had a blast. Where are you hiding beneath a Band-Aid? It's okay to be hurting. It's okay to be struggling. But there are ways to feel better and feel happier that aren't surface level, that won't crumble and fall apart. And that's what I'm trying to help you to see. It's okay. And so what I'd like to leave you with is if you have any questions, if there's something, a character thing going on that you have questions about, or that you necessarily want to just talk about, talk in the comments. If you want something more private, direct message on Instagram or Twitter. They'll be linked in the description, and I'd just love to talk to you about it. The goal of this isn't to talk over you, it's to talk next to you. I don't know the answers, but I could definitely source you with some people that do. It's okay to have these hurts. Just don't slap a Band-Aid on it forever. It's never going to heal correctly. And so with that, thank you guys so much for watching the first episode I get to share with you about what I'm going through. And I hope as this continues, if you have any ideas, please tell me. I would love to read other books or look into other topics or any of that sort of thing. So if you like the video, hit the like button. If you really like our content, we've had a decent amount of content uploaded so far, please hit the subscribe button. It's just starting. We have so much good stuff coming. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have an awesome day.